Hello, what we have here is my favorite building in all of Vancouver, Waterfront Station. Even though it is 10 p.m. on a weeknight, it is rather active and remains so all day as it is an important central hub for transportation in Metro Vancouver. Built in 1914 for the Canadian Pacific Railway, it served as the terminus for train services from all over the country. With connections to places overseas via nearby wharves, you could arrive here and transfer to steamships traveling to East Asia. Today, it acts in that capacity by having connections to Richmond and the airport by way of the Canada Line, Surrey via the Expo Line, Seabus, which is a ferry service to directly across the inlet to North Vancouver, and finally, we have the West Coast Express, which takes us to the aforementioned city of Mission. However, the last service has a slight problem. If I want to visit that city on a Saturday, I have to take a car. Ironically, as you watch this section of freeway goes over a right of way that used to belong to a railway, and that is the problem we have today. We gave up a lot of our rail capacity away in favor of the car. I'm stuck with the option of driving if I want to visit Mission or anywhere that isn't within TransLink's usual jurisdiction. Mission is a city of 42,000 people situated about 65 kilometers east of Vancouver. It is served by the West Coast Express with 5 trains going to Vancouver in the morning and another 5 returning in the evening. TransLink also offers bus service a few times per day as well, but all of these options are only available on weekdays, meaning that weekends and holidays will simply not have service. Transit to and anywhere in the Fraser Valley is absolutely miserable. Bus options exist, but if you want to get from Mission City back to Vancouver on this lovely Saturday morning, it will require 3 buses moving in car traffic before you can get to actually reliable transit. You're looking at nearly 1.5 hours just to get to a SkyTrain station despite only traveling at most 80 kilometers. There are, of course, alternate ways to get to and from the region. We have a national rail service at our disposal who does provide service outside the times provided by the West Coast Express. Mission does also have a second railway station, and it's only a short trip by car. Except there's a catch. Well, maybe more than one catch. Previously, we were at Mission City Station, but now we find ourselves at Mission Harbor Road Station, which is only 500 meters away, but is nearly 3 times that when driving by car. It has no real station amenities, no transit connections, but surprisingly, prior to the pandemic, it boasted enough passengers to suggest that of the 2 trains per week it received, every other week there would be somebody getting off. And that 2 trains per week is what spells out the problem with public transport once you leave the confines of what TransLink serves. Reliable and convenient ground transportation simply does not exist. To make this station even more of a problem is the fact that it only has service going one way, meaning if we want to go from Mission to Vancouver, we have to take a trip to this station instead, located 3 kilometers south of here in Abbotsford. This pothole-ridden road leads to Abbotsford Station, situated around nothing, with the only thing making it slightly better than Mission Road is the fact that it's not gated. Mission Road had one advantage, though. Trains left at 3 p.m. from Vancouver and arrived at 4:30 p.m. If you want to take a train from here, you'd better be up for getting here at 2 a.m. and hope that service is not super impacted by VIA being subject to the whims of freight rail companies. The region that Abbotsford and Mission make up has grown by 50,000 people in the past 2 decades, leaving almost 200,000 people with inadequate transit. Abbotsford is a destination for events and shopping. To suggest that nobody wants to come here would be completely incorrect, but then to also suggest that nobody wants to go into the city would equally be so. This is a scene from 2010 where we did for a brief time have West Coast Express service being offered on a Sunday. People made good use of the service because taking a car into the city was a huge inconvenience due to the restrictions placed on personal vehicles during the Winter Olympics. TransLink negotiated with railways for weekend slots, and it worked out quite well, as evident here. But after the Olympics were over, there were no suggestions to make the West Coast Express a more regular service, and we are left with just having to take a car to and from the Fraser Valley. SkyTrain is being extended into Langley, and it's certainly going to improve things. But maybe we can also consider making good use of the bones we have for everybody else. It's just a thought. I guess for now we'll be stuck with widening this freeway, which we always seem to have money for, but somehow nothing remains for options that don't require a car.